For everybody watching this, Bill is a comedian. So I know Bill, who actually introduced himself to me as Will, and I've known him as Will for like I don't know how many years at this point, at least 2 years, if not more. Met him through a mutual friend, Matt Guffey. So he is Bill Will in my phone because I don't know what his actual name is. He introduces himself as a comedian as Bill Carroll. So I'm talking to Bill Carroll, the comedian right now, which I know him from jiu-jitsu, from training at Kaotere Academy, from training in his shared garage with with his roommate a while back, and he's recently taken on a side quest, which might actually be the A story now of being a comedian. And you're just, what are you doing? You were doing shows in New York, right? You've been doing shows in LA, just shows kind of everywhere. Just for me, it seemed like it popped out of nowhere. But what's the backstory there?
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. Sorry about the Bill thing. I was fucking. I guess it ties in with the story of these shenanigans, anyways. But like, how'd it go? I went on the Kill Tony show down in Austin. I was going to Austin to train with. I wanted to train with at Henzo Gracie with John Danaher and also B Team as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping to meet like Joseph Chen and some of the guys there and ask them some of the questions that like we were going over like weird passing stuff like the straight hamstring passing, the cross hamstring passing, and I went down there to kind of prepare for Worlds, and I came in on a Monday. I didn't have anything to do, and I signed up for the Kill Tony open mic, which is on Mondays. Because I wanted to meet comedians who would show me the open mic circuit in Austin, because I had a bet with a roommate that we had 6 weeks to prepare a 5-minute set, and we were going to do a mic in LA. And I was getting really nervous about the mic in LA because I didn't want to run into like someone I knew. So I go to Austin. I'm like, I'm going to do Tony. I'm going to sign up for Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Kill Tony because I'm going to meet other comedians there.
Right.
And then we'll actually do open mics. And the show was wrapping up. I hadn't been picked, thank God, because like 300 people signed up, 5 people get selected or something. Didn't get picked. But I signed up as Bill Carroll because they have a dude on the show already named William Montgomery. Who's like he's a mainstay.
Right.
So I was like, oh, there's as far as I know, there's no Bill. So I'm just going to do Bill Carroll. And show wrapped up. I didn't get picked. I went to use the bathroom. I told this guy that I was hanging out with all night. It was like mission accomplished. I got this guy's contact information. He and I were going to do some mics later that week. Like the night was a total success. Like dodged, getting drafted essentially. I go to use the bathroom and then I hear over the mic like, oh, well, one more comedian for tonight. We have a Bill Carroll. I was like pants were like halfway down. I had to hike up the pants, like run out of the bathroom, and I was like oh shit. And then it was just a whirlwind.
That's crazy. And I remember seeing you didn't tell me that you did this, except the next morning I think I woke up and saw a text message from you or something where you were like, bro, my adrenal gland, like here's what I was doing. I think I was sending you maybe my daily text journal of jiu-jitsu moves that I hit at the gym. And you're like, dude, I haven't done jiu-jitsu in days and my adrenal glands are just fatigued right now because I was on Kill Tony last night. I was like, what the fuck? And that's how I found out that you were on Kill Tony. And ever since then, you've been posting the videos from the show, and then you've also been showing the different bits and everything. And I wanted to ask you, because you said that it was such like an adrenaline-inducing experience. I'm curious. This was your first competition ever, so tying into Worlds here. The adrenaline as a comedian and the adrenaline as a jiu-jitsu competitor, this being your first competition ever, and it's No-Gi World, one of the biggest stages. Also, your first comedy show ever was on one of the biggest stages, like currently in the comedy world. How do you relate those two experiences?
Yeah, that's a fucking amazing question. I realized halfway through the question that was going to be the question, and I was like, God damn. That was a great one. let's see. I hadn't really thought about it. The Worlds was crazy. Worlds was very crazy. The comedy thing was insane. I would say that, let's see, the adrenaline before going on Kill Tony was very intense because I left the restroom and then I'm greeted with like a guy with like the furry microphone, a guy with like an earpiece, and like a cameraman who's like, "Okay, Bill Carroll, like, are you ready? Are you prepared? Like, Bill, follow us this way through the fire escape." And like I'm getting like handled and ushered down and around like kind of shotgun style. And so that was going from like 0 to 60 extremely quickly. And then I'm sitting backstage in this like very narrow, like claustrophobic alley, standing on like an X, with some tape, and I can hear through like this velvet curtain. I can sort of hear the laughter of the audience and hear like Steve-O talking, and so that was very uncomfortably intense. Worlds, you had a lot of time to kind of like stew on the adrenaline, and also I bombed my set on Kill Tony, and so I bombed it, and in my mind I was like, these jokes are like I was like, I think these are kind of funny. Like I knew it wasn't like I didn't think I was gonna kill, but I didn't think I was gonna bomb as hard as I bombed, and so that really exacerbated the adrenaline. Whereas Worlds, I also bombed. All right, for the people who don't know, I got submitted in my first match, like with a standard, like the most textbook, like rear naked strangle, like after pulling guard terribly and just getting obliterated. But the nice thing about jiu-jitsu is like, and you know this way better than I know this, but I haven't pointed this out yet. It's like, yes, you have adrenaline, a lot of adrenaline, but you get to burn it off, sort of, because you're exercising.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The adrenaline goes nowhere after like just getting on stage, right? You're just up there, and then there's no release of the adrenaline. It's just stress. It seems like, from my perspective, looking at you, just stress for however long your set was, and then you leave, and then that's it, right?
Yeah. You just bounce, and like I'll look down, like I look down at my hand when I was doing a show in New York. I looked down, my hand was like shaking, and it wasn't because I was nervous. It was just like it's so intense to me, like doing these things, and so like my hand's shaking. I don't want it to shake, so I'm trying to like mind control it, but it's just like shaking.
Right.
And I think the same would have happened with jiu-jitsu, because you have the excitement, but because you get to move, you get to kind of burn it off. But
right.
I made similar. Like, I guess the goal in both is to like do it to the point where, yes, you have adrenaline, but it's like manageable.
Right. It's a good point you bring up about how at the jiu-jitsu competition that you could just kind of stew in it for a little bit, as opposed to first, when you went to Kill Tony, you weren't necessarily expecting to be called out on stage, and suddenly you're taking a piss, and then somebody's calling your name over the loudspeaker, and you're being ushered to the stage with no warning. Whereas at Worlds, you know when you're gonna go, you know roughly your match time, you know who your opponents are.